Welcome to Din's Talk, the space where soul wisdom meets bold action. I'm Mia Dins, your host, here to ignite your fire, help you claim your power, and guide you to take unstoppable steps towards your dream. Every episode is designed to awaken your purpose, fuel your passion, and spark transformation in your life. It's time to step into your truth and never stop. Let's dive in.
Welcome back to another episode on Din's Talk. Let's Talk Soul. And I have a very special guest on today, and I'm so excited that we finally made it happen. And I am so stoked about this conversation and can't wait to see what's coming out of this. Carrie West is a writer, storyteller, and guide in conscious creation, helping people recognize and rewrite the unconscious narratives shaping their lives. What began as a childhood retreat in storytelling evolved into a deeper realization that the stories we live by aren't fixed and can be rewritten in real time. Absolutely love that. And through her work, The Life Rewrite System, Carrie shares simple yet profound tools to shift from unconscious patterns into intentional authorship, empowering others to create a reality aligned with who they truly are. Oh my gosh, absolutely love that. And I remember we talked offline, welcome, beautiful soul, about how powerful it is to literally rewrite your own story. And that's something I absolutely live by. And it's also going into my teaching. You know, there's a story, but then we can
Yeah.
rewrite a whole new story. And then it's all about embodying it. So absolutely love having you here, Carrie. Hello, hello, welcome.
Yay. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes. So let's dive into it, right? We spoke about it. You said something where the storytelling came from your childhood. So let's wind back a little bit. So why did you escape or retreat into those storytellings? What was happening in your life back then?
It was pretty traumatic. My parents rejected me, and they didn't put me up for adoption because you didn't do that then. But they didn't feed me, they didn't take care of me, they didn't change my diaper. And so to deal with the trauma and the fear, I was constantly scared. I realize now from where I am now that I must have been scared all the time. So the way I could fall asleep at night, I didn't suck my thumb until I was 2 years old, but as an infant, I remembered telling myself that my real parents were looking for me. And when they found me, I'd have this amazing life with my own room and beautiful clothes and lots of food, and it would just be, and they would love me and they would want me. And so that was the start of it. And then when I started to learn how to write and could keep a journal, that's what I did. I would write these stories, and they were very imaginative, but they were also filled with hope. They were also filled with hope of a better situation than where I found myself.
Yeah.
Because, when you're young, you don't know any better. You think this is what life is, right?
Yeah.
You don't have an experience of anything else. But for some reason, I was sure there was something else. I was sure there was a better life for me. So I would tell stories about that better life.
I love
I
that.
had no idea that I was holding on to this hope. Yeah. So it's funny how kids are more connected to these things. We forget how connected we are to our creative center, to
Yeah.
our souls. And
Yeah.
kids know these things automatically. But I was certain, I was absolutely certain there was a better life than what I was living. And I'm a
Yeah.
kid. What does a kid know?
I'm just amazed how you remember it as an infant. You know, like me, most people don't even remember things from when they're 4 years old, whatever.
Yeah.
How did you remember? When did you remember that you remembered, if that makes sense? Yeah, because it's
Well,
quite special.
I think when you're traumatized like that, I didn't know until about 20 years ago that I was suffering from PTSD, from post-traumatic stress disorder. And I think one of the things is you remember so clearly the situation because that's how you have to learn how to protect yourself. You become hyper vigilant and you want to protect yourself from that trauma. So I think this whole experience with this trauma, and I never labeled it as trauma. I just thought that was what life was about. And it was one of these things that eased me, calmed my heart to know that I had a different story that could play out for me. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. Yeah. That's and I
So,
yeah, keep going.
no, it's something, and it's not something I just discovered recently. It was something I've always carried with me. I always knew that story, that there was a better life for me. Now,
Mhm.
as a 1-year-old, it shows up as some big not mom and dad that are going to come and save me. But as I got older, savior being who was going to rescue me from this life was different. They changed. And then
Mhm.
it turned out that I was the one that rescued me from my own life.
That's the power. That is the power. We are our own rescuers, right? There's so many people waiting out, like waiting that someone else is coming to rescue them, or this job, or this relationship, or whatever. But it's actually us. It all starts within us. And now talking about, when you realized 20 years ago,
Yes.
PTSD, of course, I'm all about how everything is stored in the body energetically. And we carry that, like we carry all these imprints. You obviously did. And it's amazing. So I mean, now probably there were many, many experiences in your life or moments where it shook you and you realize, oh, these drop-in moments. So what were they like, and what was the realization out of this? And how did you then, of course, transform it with your storytelling, with your rewriting of your story?
Yeah. Well, we know that when you're traumatized, you get triggered, right?
Oh,
There
yeah.
is something will happen that will trigger that memory. And it got to a point where once I started incorporating storytelling, that whenever I got triggered, I could take a deep breath because you recognize, you know what the trigger is, you know how your body feels, you know that your body, you cringe, you can't breathe, your stomach is killing you, you're very tense, but your breath is very, very shallow. And you feel this sensation of losing control, and you feel this sensation of danger, right? And that sensation of danger is different for everybody. So I started to recognize that. And when it would come up, when I would get triggered, I would just put my hands on my heart and say, "You're okay now. We made it through then." And I would thank that little Carrie, that little girl, and say, "You are the bravest, most courageous being I have ever met."
Mm.
I'm here and I love you. And I'm so grateful for your courage and for your strength and for your willingness to stick it out. Because if you would have decided to leave at any point in time, I wouldn't be here right now.
Mm.
So I'm grateful for your courage and your strength. I made her the hero of our story because she was. She was. What she dealt with absolutely no skills and no knowledge, what she dealt with was bigger than anything I would ever deal with now. Who cares if I get a bill from a department store saying, you're late this month? Who cares? She was
Yes.
dealing with life and death
Mm.
when she made it.
Yeah. It's powerful. Very powerful. I feel that. Feel that deeply.
She's the hero of my story, Mia.
Of course. Yeah. Beautiful. She deserves it, and she deserves to be seen and tell the story. Absolutely. Yeah. And now you use that, you know, that biggest pain of your life has become your greatest gift because you now transformed it into something how you firstly helped yourself, and with that, in the same breath, helping others, which is amazing. And I want to point that out because, like, most people want to get through the struggle. They want to avoid the pain. I said, but this is your doorway to the gift. Yes, it is uncomfortable, but there's nothing like inside the comfort zone. Everything happens outside the comfort zone. Everything. And just how it is. And there is no shortcut, right? So you have to endure that because that will show you who you are, what you need to let go of, what kind of story. I love that. The story we carry. And it starts with simple things. Like when you say wake up and tell yourself every day, I'm tired, I'm tired, I'm tired, I'm tired. Yeah, that's a story. But then you can rewrite that story. It's not about bypassing being tired because we are humans, we have a human body, we get out of balance. Of course we get tired. It's normal. But it's about how can you rewrite that
Yeah,
story, right? Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
And we all forget sometimes, because we get into this conditioned patterns, right? That day, we're like, oh, whatever. But I always I constantly rewrite with things like, for example, there are no problems, there are only solutions. And that means I'm avoiding problems or
Yeah.
bypass challenges, but there's always not just one solution, but multiple solutions. And in that way, even though in that moment I don't know the solution yet, but already my energy shifts. Okay, we don't have problems. There are no problems. There are only solutions because that will rewire my focus, that I do not focus on problems, but only focus on solutions. What can I do now with what is right in front of me?
Exactly. 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 You got it.
Yeah.
This is we get so frustrated if there's a problem, and it's just a gateway for us to see something that we can work with, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. With, when you have such a rough start to your life. I mean, having not your parents around you and you depend on them and completely starting with survival mode. Like I am sure you have done all your work, diving deeper, and there was a lot to rewrite and clear and rewire, and it doesn't happen overnight. Most people think they do like one session, like clearing session, whatever, and it's gone. No, it takes a conscious choice every single day. Every single day you have to choose that new version, that new story every single day. And how did you end up from that space to being now where you are? And tell us what is your life now? How is your life now?
Oh, my life is amazing. I went from poor and sharing a tiny space with 6 people to having a beautiful home in Santa Barbara, California, um, that's got a lovely garden and it's very peaceful. But I'll tell you what, it isn't about solving one issue. It's about making a commitment to live your life differently. And that's a challenge because most human beings are afraid of change. And change
Mhm.
means we have to get out of our familiar. And even if our familiar is painful, you know the pain. And people will stay with the pain rather than make that commitment to change. And that's what I did, Mia. I decided that I was going to have to take a risk and give up everything that was always comfortable for me, even the pain. I knew how to respond to the pain. I knew how to shut down. I knew how to feel sorry for myself. I knew how to be unhappy. What
Mhm.
I didn't know was how to be happy. And I
Mhm.
didn't know how to feel free and calm. And I decided if I was going to do this work, I had to commit to being free and calm and to take care of myself. I mean, come on, I just had this major eye surgery. My eye was puffed out like this. And look, you can barely see it.
Mm.
I healed that quickly
Yeah.
because your body will respond. Your body will respond when you decide to be different, when you decide to step out of the old pattern.
Yes.
And not everybody will do that. And that's okay. That's okay. You have to be where you are. There's no judgment here. If you're not ready, great. Stay where you are. It's okay. Listen, I'm still growing. I'm still looking for more. And my partner said to me, "Honey, you are so amazing. Why do you want to keep putting yourself through this?" I said, "I'm not putting myself through anything except exploring where I can go. I keep challenging myself to see how much further can I go? How much
Yes.
more can I be? How much more pain can I heal? Because there's always pain. We all have pain, don't we?
Yeah.
Emotional and psychological pain. Pain isn't something that's talked about. We're talked about somebody hurt our feelings.
Yeah.
But what about the pain?
Hmm.
I still have it.
Yeah. What's your biggest pain right now? Let's go there. I love to dive into those type of topics so people understand better.
Sure. Well, I left all my old familiar stuff. I left my corporate clients. I left all that old stuff to start really putting this out into the world full time, not just part time, going on a call or having a couple of clients on the side. I got rid of everything, all the other clients, my corporate clients, and said, this is going to be my focus. And that's scary because the amount of money corporate America was paying me was outrageous. And now I'm like, because you have to, I have this lifestyle and my partner could pay for it. He's willing to pay for it, but I want to be a fully contributing partner. I think that's a good pattern to start setting for other women in the world is to know that I can rely on myself and be a solid partner to this man. He's awesome.
Mhm.
And I'm so grateful to have him. And having him has made it possible for me to take this leap of faith. And the other day, I just had a huge doubt came over me. It's like, ugh, what are you doing? Go back to corporate America. You make boatloads of money. What are you doing? And I said, nope, I have to keep working through this. This has been my MO my whole life. This comes up. Okay, thank you. I'll sit with the pain for a couple days. That's great, but I'm going to keep going.
Mhm. So how do you
And I don't know where it's going to take me, Mia.
yeah, that's powerful. And how like let's walk through this. Like how when you say you sit with the pain, what do you do? What tools do you have? What do you do? Like because everybody does it differently. You said a couple of days. Some people say I give myself 24 hours, like kind of a thing. It works. I tried different things. I actually, for me personally, I got this from Leila Hamosi. It's someone, like sometimes I listen to things and she talks about the 24-hour thing. If something really shit happened and you made a mistake or you got hurt or you have pain, set your timer for 24 hours and move through it. Like really, it works. But sometimes some things may need a couple of days, and that's totally fine too, because you can't force things that
Yeah,
there's like a part to it. So yeah, how does it work for you?
I work with my higher self. Do you work with your higher self?
Absolutely, every single day. Yeah.
Yeah, every night as I'm falling asleep, I call in my higher self and I talk to her and I say, I'm not feeling connected to the divine right now. I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling pity, whatever I'm feeling. I'm not feeling connected to the divine. Will you still hold me while I sleep? And Mia, she has never said, ew. She just always cuddles me up in her arms and says, I got you. You go ahead and sleep in peace. I won't let anything hurt you.
Yeah.
And inevitably, I wake up the next day feeling awesome. Now, does that mean I'm going to be awesome all day? No, but I don't try to be. I don't try to be awesome all day. I just live the day.
Hmm.
And I've gotten to a point where I just totally trust whatever I'm feeling and whatever's going on for me. And I pay attention. I listen to, is my body okay? My breathing is good. My anxiety levels are down. I'm okay. Then
Hmm.
I know all of it's good.
Hmm.
Then I check in with my higher self during the day and I'll
Hmm.
thank her. Thank
Yeah.
you for just being here. Sometimes we don't need a big process. We just need to know that there is something there protecting us, right?
Yeah.
Somebody has our back.
Hmm. Yeah.
And I believe my higher self has my back always.
Yeah. Absolutely. I do this practice. I tap, of course, connect to source energy, infinite God, creator, whatever you want to call it, your higher self. In some way, you know that there's something greater outside of you that is taking care of you, and developing that trust and certainty, no matter what, no matter if it appears to be the most painful, challenging situation, this is happening for me. This is always happening for me. And that is giving,
Yeah.
like knowing and trusting that. And like you said, again, it's not about bypassing. It is actually about allowing it and being it. And then the next step will be revealed. But most people, or we are so conditioned with our mind, we need to find a solution now, or avoiding it, escaping the pain. That is like,
Yeah.
that's comfortable. And of course, my ego comes in, of course, every single time. But I know now the drill. I'm like, okay, no, don't avoid it. Don't avoid it. Just stay there and go in. And that's powerful. And like you said, with it, I feel like so many people underestimate the power of sleep and dreaming. I work every single night with it. I command, or yeah, I say I want to recalibrate everything. Of course, I do energetic clearing, with the restructure of my energetic field, close any gaps in my auric field, anything that I've sponged up throughout the day that I took on. But I do that several times throughout the day anyways, because I'm highly sensitive. So energetic clearing is just my second nature. And it, like you said, it doesn't have to be something really big. It can be really, really simple. And then it's just about an intention. And you have no, like people, you can literally ask before you go to sleep, please show me a solution for, I don't know, with my relationship, or how can I improve myself, or improve in my business? What is my next step? Or you asked for like a creative flow for your book, your next book, whatever it is. Honestly, there's no limit. And literally, it may not happen that night
Yeah.
throughout the dream. It can be another night. It can be the next day somehow. But
Yeah.
the more you do it, the easier it responds and the quicker. And it's fascinating because you go into the deep
Absolutely.
conscious realms there. Yeah.
Yeah. The key is to pay attention
Yeah.
because you never know how it's going to show up, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
And if you're paying attention, you'll see it. You'll find it. It's cool. Isn't it miraculous how this works?
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. And we doubt it because so many.
I just feel so lucky.
Yeah. Yeah. And well, coming back now to you, when did you write your first book? What was the first story? I believe it was the money story you rewrote, or what was the first story
The
you were
first one was rewritten.
live rewritten?
The
Okay.
first one was life rewritten. Yeah.
Mm.
And after I wrote Life Rewritten, which is the overarching view of life, I realized that there were certain components of life that have their own specific story. So money was first because money affects everything. Money affects your health, it affects your well-being, it affects your career, it affects your relationships, it affects everything. And next I'm working on Health Rewritten. That'll be out this summer. My summer, your winter. And then Love Rewritten.
Mm.
So we
Good.
can stop the stories we have about love.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I love both those topics. Obviously, the health one, my quantum embodiment method. And today I just posted before like that the body determines how much we receive. It is just our nervous system, how available we are, and everything that is stored will block us from the money, that relationship, the joy, the job, whatever it is. And I find that very fascinating and intriguing. And because it took me
Yeah.
so long to fully understand that, or like intellectually you can understand it, but to fully embody it and really going down and going deep within and knowing, hey, that's my nervous system now blocking me from actually receiving that. And for me, the biggest stories that I was blocking myself to receive is definitely money and love. Yeah, because this were like really imprinted
Yeah.
old stories, like really deeply for me. Yeah, and I'm rewriting again and again new chapters, which is amazing to see. And it's powerful when you start to realize
Yeah.
that.
No, it's all good.
Yeah. And with love, let's go into that, like with the story as love. I find that very interesting also because I feel like through the media and the movies, like, and I observed that now with also my best friends, couples in general, I don't believe it has to be traumatic, like how it's depicted in the movie. Oh, the two soulmates meet, but then there's this big breakup coming and traumatic, and maybe they don't see each other for 10 years. Look, those stories exist, but I believe it's all about how much people are actually in the story, right? If they believe that story and they relive that story. What do you think? I personally, look, there are challenges. I believe that your soulmate or that your highest frequency match is there to challenge you. It helps you to expand and grow, and that can only have challenges. But I don't believe it has to be always this Hollywood dramatic kind of thing. Yeah. What is your take on that? Your own story as well.
My no, you're good. Overarching goal is that we are love.
Yeah.
Period. We are love.
Mm.
And we forget that because, like you said, we have too many stories that tell us what love is. Love is what Hollywood thinks it is, or what our parents said it is, or whatever it is. That's not what love is. We are love, aren't we?
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
We
Love is
are
it.
love. Yeah. And we forget that. So we look for all these things. It's always outside of us. The whole problem is we look externally for these answers. When the answer's right here.
Mm.
The answer is here. So we are love. If you
Mm.
put your hands on your heart right now, you feel it.
Yeah.
And it's always there.
Mm. It's powerful. And
Yeah. And we have relationships because we think they're going to validate us for love. When you can stop that and just know that we are love, that you can have a relationship for whatever reason you want the relationship. If you want sex, if you want companionship, if you just want a friend to hang out with, that's fine. But we're already validated. We are love.
mm. Yeah.
And I don't put it
That's
on my partner at all that he has to validate me.
mm. Yeah. Powerful. Yeah, we're already whole. And once you come from this place of wholeness, you attract everything, really, because you don't chase and you don't need someone else to fill your cup. You have overflow
Exactly.
of love. But like to your story, I mean, you didn't, the concept you grew up in, like, you got rejected. There was no love as such. So how did you rewrite that story? I know you did it through stories, but I mean, it must have been how did you learn? How did you define for yourself what love is for you?
I always knew that a romantic relationship for me was going to be a true partnership. I was not going to fall into the old story about the woman is the cook and the cleaner and the has babies and does all that. That didn't feel right to me. And I even had my younger sister who's divorced twice said to me, "How come you never got married?" And I said, "Because I wasn't healthy enough to be in a relationship. I had to work on myself." So I never really dated. And then Simon and I met in 2009 and we became friends. And then in 2012 we were out having a conversation and we went, "I think there's something else here. Do you want to explore that?" And we've been together ever since. We moved in together. That was it. Never went on a date, Mia. Never went on a date. And I never had a boyfriend before then. But I will tell you that 2 days before we had that dinner, I was walking in this beautiful forest and I said to my higher self and soul, "I'm done. I'm done. I don't know what this whole big bullshit is about you have to have a relationship. I don't. I'm complete. I'm fine. I don't need a relationship. So I'm done. Thank you very much. And 2 days later, Simon called me and said, you want to get together?" It's like, "Yeah, sure." And that's when we looked at each other and went, "Hmm,
Wow, you never felt anything before?
that's how it happened."
You never felt anything before for him?
Always
Never?
my buddy. He was, you know what? Here's the thing. I always thought he was cute. I always thought he was a good man, but I will admit I did not have that chemistry that, "Oh my god, I wanna see him naked." I mean, we have great sex now, so it's not that. It was so beautiful that we just chose each other at that moment. And I don't know if I'm articulating this enough, but when you simultaneously choose each other, there's such a power in that.
Mm.
And like I said, we've been together ever since. That was 15 years ago. And before then, I never dated anyone for more than 2 weeks. I couldn't stand most of the guys I was meeting. Oh my god, dating sucks. Ugh, I hate dating.
Mhm. Yeah, wow. What a powerful story. So you never had a relationship before
Yeah.
that?
No, I couldn't trust anybody. I was so skeptical of anybody that came into my life. The trauma really was insidious.
Mm.
I couldn't trust. When I did date somebody, they inevitably broke my heart.
Mm.
They cheated, and see, for me, when you went out with me on one date, I didn't want somebody to have a bunch of girlfriends. That to me, that was hard for me to know that somebody could be dating other people while dating me. I
Yeah.
wasn't comfortable with that. I know a
Mm.
lot of people are, but that didn't work for me.
Yeah.
I needed to feel safe and that I could trust you.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's when you have that
Exactly.
trauma, and I find it powerful what you did and said that you couldn't be in a relationship because you're not healed enough for yourself. You're not ready. It's so powerful because you know how many people I can't put a percentage on that, but I'm sure most of the people would have rather been in a toxic relationship just to not deal with themselves or to not feel alone
Yeah.
than to hear that. But now look at you. Now you
Yes.
your
Yes.
your match, the one that is made. You are made for each other. You are having this beautiful relationship that's for you guys. You signed up for this, your soul contract, and you prepared everything you did, all the work you did, and saying no to the easy part. I say easy parts, just like trying to be with someone for the sake of, oh, I'm in a relationship because everyone is doing that. You chose the other path because you
Yeah.
prepared that. And now,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it appears to be like, oh, it was so easy. You guys said, oh, yeah, let's try that. Now everything is flowing. No, because the part before that was the real preparation. It's like an athlete that prepares for the Olympics. That's years of preparation.
Absolutely.
And that's what I see here. And it's amazing. And I love that you shared that. And because I'm on my own path with celibacy right now, almost 2 years, because I chose that I just wanted to really be away from any distractions and really clear myself and also with my own womb space and sacred womb space and everything. And it's all preparation. And honestly, so many people ask about temptation. I don't even feel, like, of course, there's sometimes little thoughts and moments, or maybe a nice date would be great. Just having a coffee, like, not that I drink coffee, but just having a juice or whatever with someone, just a talk, a man. But it's nothing that I wake up every morning and feel like, "Oh," because I feel whole and I have so much to do, so many things that I want to bring to this world that I'm so busy doing that rather than trying to
Mhm.
validation from someone. So yeah, it's very powerful what you did. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's okay to be on your own. So many people don't wanna be on their own
Mm.
because then you have to look in the mirror, don't you?
Oh yeah.
It's not a real mirror, it's your own mirror. It's your figurative mirror.
Every
And
single
that's not
day.
comfortable.
Every
Yep, it's not comfortable.
single. And with now, what are some simple tools that you work with people, simple tools? Because I remember you have this daily practice how to rewrite your story. It takes you 5 minutes. Like, how do you do that when people like think, okay, great, Carrie, I wake up and I feel like shit, I have bills to pay and I don't know how to do it, and I'm already tired and the kids are there, like, the whole story. So what would you do with that person? What would you say? Yeah.
The first step is always awareness. Always awareness.
Mm,
So, do you wake up every day feeling like, I don't want to deal with this shit? That's a pattern.
mm,
When you know your patterns, you can rewrite them, but you have to know them first. You have to know the pattern of, my life sucks. I hate my work. Why does this always happen to me?
mm,
Why do I always feel this way? That always and then something is the notion of a pattern. When somebody says to me, why do I always keep dating the wrong guys? I'll say to them, yeah, why? What do you mean? What are you getting out of it? What's in it for you that you keep dating the wrong people? Well, I don't know. I just can't seem to meet the right guy. Really? When I was growing, the reason why I didn't find anyone I liked to date was I was constantly looking for my father. I was traumatized. I wanted him to finally approve of me. He never did. So I had to date guys that weren't approving of me. I was always drawn to guys who would reject me so I could carry on the rejection story.
mm.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My father rejected me. So I wasn't going to be drawn to guys who would embrace me and want me. That
Mhm,
wasn't my pattern. It wasn't what I knew. It wasn't where I was familiar. My familiar pattern was to be around men who rejected me.
mhm,
Women in their relationship with their fathers is critical. Critical. And when I understood that I was constantly looking for guys who would reject me, you know what I did, me? I quit dating. That's why I never had really many boyfriends. And then I worked on myself and I shifted the story. But first of all, I had to understand the relationship with my father and not just know it, but understand it at the soul level.
mhm.
Make peace with it. Refine that. Make peace with it. Let it go. So I did. And I make it sound like it's easy. It is not easy. I was
Mm,
so invested in trying to prove to my father that I was worth his love. And it was never going to happen. And I cried my eyes out for days when I realized that I was never going to be able to prove to my father that I was worthy of his love.
mm,
Besides the fact that he was dead for like 20 years at that point, it's like, why do I want to keep trying to prove to my father that I deserve his love?
mm.
And
Powerful.
then I started to learn about him. So I got a perspective of his life and why it was hard for him. And I understood it in a whole new way. And then I could forgive him and just cherish him, the memory for he tried his best. He didn't
Mhm.
have the tools that I have. Did that mean I have to live without love in my life? No.
Yeah.
So that's what I do. That's how I did it. And that's how I work with my clients is to understand why.
Yeah.
The why always helps.
Mhm. And then rewrite it. I find that I mean, there's so many nuggets, and we could go deeper and think into things, but it's probably another whole podcast. But with the father wound and going really deep and understanding it on a soul level, that really resonated with me because I lost my father, unfortunately, when I was 13, but also he wasn't emotionally available. So he was basically also, with alcoholism and violence and things like that. And
Yeah.
people now say, how can you love your dad? I absolutely love my father, but also I took that journey to understand where he was coming from, what was happening. And I didn't have the chance, like, he was dead too. So I had to get all the resources. First, the interdimensional parenting, I was connecting to him in spirit. And secondly, through my siblings to ask they're older, to ask certain things. What did he do? And then I put the dots together. And the same like you, I understood he was doing the very best with all the resources he had at that time. And he didn't heal him. He didn't go deep because he didn't know how to
Yeah.
do it. He just knew escape and avoidance and, deflection and things like that. And doesn't make that what he did good. No, it makes it still painful, but it helps you to let it go and understand better. And I feel like I just wanted to throw that in like a controversial question, because I hear that often. There are two perspectives here, two extremes. Some say in order to heal you need to forgive, and some say you don't need to forgive in order to heal. What is your take on that?
Forgiveness is a gift we give ourselves. Forgiveness doesn't mean you're going to reconcile. Forgiveness doesn't mean you're going to become best friends with the person who did some damage. It doesn't mean that. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself. It sets you free. And you can forgive when you understand. You understand why they did what they did. Until I understood that my father did not have the tools and the skills and the inclination to have a family. My father never wanted a family. My mother got pregnant and then she kept getting pregnant so he wouldn't leave her.
Mhm.
He never wanted a family. On some level, he felt a connection with all of his kids, but he couldn't express it because family wasn't in his overall framework. So, do I want to keep punishing myself and holding myself back because my father happened to be somebody without the skills to deal with this? He was not one of those people that the minute he saw his daughter, he fell in love and he became a new man. That's a Hollywood story.
Mm,
He was
yeah.
a real human being who every time my mom got pregnant again, he just thought, "Oh, shit, I got to work hard to support this family," because he had the story of the man has to be the provider. The man has to take care of the family.
Mhm.
He never wanted that. That wasn't his passion. That wasn't his dream.
Mhm. Yeah.
So, do I want to hold myself back because my father didn't have the skills to change his life, didn't have the courage to say to my mom, I can't do this?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I forgave him. And now I have a lot of great conversations with him from other levels. I think he's been reborn again. I don't know how he's doing, but about 20 years ago, I had a feeling that he was reborn again. My dad's been gone almost 50 years. He died when I was 20. You said 13. My dad, I was 20.
Mm.
So, you
Yeah.
know, this life we lead is so much more complex than we know. And I give him the grace. I want him to have the grace to discover who he is.
Yeah. And I love like that you shared that with the interdimensional connection, right? Because we are multidimensional beings. And of course you have to be open to that. But that's what I did. Like I can now definitely confidently say that like the day my dad passed away, it was the most saddest, but also the most happiest day in my life, because I knew we would have never created that relationship in human on the earth plane, because the egos would have been too much in
Yeah,
the way. Because he passed away, we have a soul contract. I went so deep that I understood now that he signed up, we signed up for this. He left it early. He left me early. So I open up to my mediumship and channel gift very, very early, to remember that, to question the concept out there about black and white.
exactly.
And to understand that doesn't make it go away the pain, but it helps you to understand, like, oh, this is the purpose, because we transmute that pain into purpose, into something greater than us. Yeah.
Exactly. Listen, I think we're bigger beings. We have so much energy. We all have pain. We all have stuff. So can you incorporate that into your life? Can you make peace with it
Mm,
and not feel bad or not judge or not hate yourself for it?
mm,
It's a part of what makes us human. So I really encourage people to accept themselves without judgment.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. Just allowing them to be who they are. Yeah, I love that. So, Carrie, I know we're
Absolutely.
gonna move
Absolutely.
into the lightning round, a little bit of fun, and then we wrap up, and you can talk about
Yay.
where people can find you and everything. I'm also excited for your answers. Yeah. So, are you ready for it?
I'm ready.
Okay. So, what do you do when nobody is watching?
I eat chocolate.
Good. What's your favorite chocolate?
Dark chocolate.
Very good. What is something completely embarrassing about you that people wouldn't expect?
Oh, I don't even want to say it.
Okay, that's okay.
I can't say it. I can't. It's too embarrassing.
Okay. Totally fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough.
I will tell you though. Well, no, I'll tell you. I'll tell you because this is lightning round and it's fun.
Okay.
But for a long time, I always said girls didn't fart. Well, I fart. That's the embarrassing thing.
I love talking about that. Yes, to the farts. We do. Everybody does. I know. It is another, isn't it? It's like it's also conditioning, right? How often do we get told that? My brothers were like, "Ew, girls don't fart." Right. Why not? We are having a human body,
I
right?
know. We do. We fart. I fart.
Yes, to that. Release too. If you had a superpower, what would it be and why?
I want 6 of them. There's 6. My first one is I want to fly.
I knew you were going to say that. Why?
My second one is why do I want to fly? I love flying. I've got my power animal is an eagle, so I love flying. My second thing would be to let people know that they are loved and they have permission to be happy. That would
Mm.
be my second superpower.
Wow, I love that. That is beautiful. And what is a small everyday thing that brings you joy?
My dog. My dog.
Yay.
He's the love of my life. Sorry, Simon, but I love our dog.
It's like,
Well, he lets me love him. Yeah, he's over here with me. He's sitting over there. He's been barking a little bit. I don't know if you heard him, but he's been
oh,
boofing every once in a while.
cute. I would love to see him after our recording. And what is one habit or ritual to that you refuse to give up?
Diet soda.
Okay, fair enough. And last one, if your life had a theme song, what would it be?
It's a great song from New Zealand, from one of the teams that played rugby in New Zealand. I get knocked down, but I get up again. Ain't nothing gonna show. I get knocked out, but I get up again, and
Then
never gonna put me down. It's a one-hit wonder. What did you know the song? I get knocked
I
down.
know the
It's
song.
a
Yes,
team from New Zealand. One of the
yeah. I just can't
yeah,
remember the
that's
name.
my song. You get knocked down. I don't know the name of it either, but that's my song.
Beautiful. Love that as a theme song for life. Now, because my podcast is called Din's Talk, like my last name, Do It Never Stop. What is your Do It Never Stop message for people out there? What would you tell someone? Do it never stop.
Keep seeking. Keep excavating and looking and finding and seeking. Make peace with who you are. Learn who you are. Fall in love with yourself. When you do that excavation and dig into who you are, you fall in love. And you can't rattle that love. when you know who you are.
Yeah.
Good, bad, ugly. Go for
Mm,
it.
I love that. So powerful. And now, if people want to find out more about you, Carrie, or work with you, where can they find you? And if you have anything coming up that they could join, please, now it's your time to let them know.
Well, today, I know where you are, it's April 16th, but today in the US it's April 15th, which is our tax day. And today I am launching the life rewrite system. The first 100 people get a lifetime guarantee. Their price won't change, and it's a really low price. My investors want me to charge like 4 times what I'm charging. So the first 100 people get locked in for life. I will never raise the price. They get all my books, they get all my videos, which are a lot, and they get access to me, and they get all these great special things. So that can be found at my website at carriekcwest.com.
Okay.
And if you mention that you got my information from Mia, send me a note. There's a way to contact me on the website. Send me a note and I will guarantee the price, even if because I don't know when you're going to show this podcast, but I will guarantee the price if they saw me on this show.
Oh, perfect. Because the podcast will be coming out a little bit later then, because I believe there will be
Yeah.
people. So thank you. Amazing. And I will leave, of course, all the details in
Yep.
the description box below. And thank you so much, Carrie, for sharing your beautiful energy and for being so open and bringing your light and your wisdom and your experience into this show, into this field here, and sharing this with everybody who's listening. And I was truly an honor to have you on. And thank you so much, guys, again for dropping into this beautiful episode. And if you have any comments, anything that resonate with you or you want to know more about, you please drop that in the comments below. Share it with people who need to hear it. And if you want to connect with either Carrie or I, then you can find our details. And thank you so much, guys. Until next time, love you.
Thank you for tuning in to Din's Talk. I hope today's conversation sparked something within you. Remember, you have the power to align with your soul, take bold action, and live a life fueled by passion. Don't forget to subscribe, share with others, and leave a comment if this episode resonated with you. And as always, do it, never stop. Until next time, keep claiming your fire and your power.